People are always afraid of things that they don't know. And what's happening is there's a lot of fear being spread by some news media about Islam, about Muslim. Sometimes because people who are claiming to be Muslim doing horrible things. So the way to try to help or combat Islamophobia, help preventing it, is to educate people. And we don't have the power of news media outlet, but we have the power of people as individual, as a community reaching out to other communities. So alhamdulillah, in this community, alhamdulillah, I mean, thank God, in this community we reach out we're part of Maroon Interfaith Ministerium, so we have a lot of connection. So our message is, let's teach people about our faith, what true Islam is, what the actual Muslim believe in, and what they do, how they see, Islam as a way to improve their own etiquette, their own behavior, their own become better person. Where that's what faith is. That's what Islam is. Prophet Muhammad said that the best of you is the best in character. So it's through our good characters and improving our characters and reaching out to our community, the community around us. We try to fight off Islamophobia. So that's one. So on an individual basis, on daily, your neighbors, your co-workers, people you run across the street or shopping, whatever capacity you have, and then on a community level, where our message is by hosting people coming and talking about Islam and Muslims. So that's one. The second one is always to educate also our community members about the Islamophobia, about what's their right, what to do in case they face it. So we try to prevent it if we can, and then to deal with it if it's happened, right. Or any discrimination that comes because of because of our faith. So then in the masjid, with the mosque, so we pray 5 times a day as the Muslims. So there's congregation prayers. So there's depending on time of the day. So some prayers there are more people. Like the night prayer, which is around 7:30 now. There's 25 people, 30 people come on a daily basis. Morning prayer, which is around 6:10 now. There's 10 people come on our congregation prayer on Friday. So how in church it's Sunday, Sunday and Saturday. Our Muslims, it's on Friday, so that's usually 250 to 300 people. Oh, wow. And our holidays prayer or holiday celebration, which is that we have 2 of them, usually there's 1,250 to 1,500 people showing up. It's mainly Indo-Pakistani, so people from India, Pakistan. There's some people from Arabic countries like myself. So that's kind of grew recently with the people like Iraqi refugees, Syrian refugees. And there's a very few African American in this community, but there's some. This community mainly professionals, so a lot of people physicians, engineers, or business men, or people with who own businesses. Mm-hmm. So that's most of this community, and it's mainly families, So there's few single, but mainly it's family-oriented communities. So it's usually at we don't have any any family different than having a man and a wife, and a man and a woman, and some kids. Mm-hmm. Usually a few of them. So we don't have any family members where they're people of the same gender as a family. We don't have that, and not that we have any problem, but we don't have that. So, so there's a few that single mom who maybe divorced or widowed, or the other way around, a man with some kids. But those are the exception. But mainly it's especially that have to do with the faith. So the Islam, there's no like boyfriend girlfriend. So there's no people living together. There's really marriage through marriage people get together. So not out of diversity on that aspect.
Yeah.
So like we have like we use the email, like I said, weekly email, like a newsletter about the activities that happening or announcements. Somebody like after they died, somebody have an illness. So emailing system. After Friday prayers, we make announcements. So like after the prayer worship, like that's usually the biggest crowd you get. And then during family night, which is once a month, we also reach out to them. Sunday school for this announcement before like on the morning gathering. And once a month we have what they call open house. So we like tell the community about like upcoming events, what went through, what happened, what events that happened, any plan for any other project, and then open like for a Q and like if somebody have a question, concern, idea, suggestion, that would be the time. So it's like other, religious organization. There's no the money is something that you get through donation. So we don't have like something that consistent source of income. So we always have to like depend on the donation, and it's a whole building that you see in the school. It's always from donations.
Right.
So there's nothing from a different country that or like somebody. So it's all through the community members donating. So always it's challenge to kind of keep up with the expenses and make sure that enough donation is there to support.
Yeah.
So that's one. Second one is, always like we'd like to grow as a community. And I think the growth is a challenge. So we do have a person who leads the prayers, the imam, but we are lacking the religious director, and that's one thing we were working on. So we interviewed 4 people, and we need to make a decision on who we hire. So having the spiritual leader who can communicate with people, who can track people. So I think that's one of the other challenges. Third challenge is that I think it have to do with the Islamophobia question. I think it's always there's that people that trying to smear our faith. Whether intentionally, whether because of ignorance. So always try to stand up for the community, stand up to those like messages of hate, and I think we get enough support to do that. But it's a challenging issue. The Christians say, "As I heard the calling," right? Or something like that. It's one of the scholar of Islam said that if you want to know your degree or your state, like how God look at you, look where He uses you. So if God using you in His path, then that's a big honor. So it's an honor, I think, to be able to serve the community. So I think it's my faith that drive me to this, but I look at it as a blessing from God that I'm able to serve. It's all volunteer basis. It's all on personal time. So that's the moving engine is the faith. So the closer you are to your faith in God, the more you want to serve in His path. And I think that for me, at least, and most of the people in administration, that will be the motivation. And sometimes the people have experience with like businesses or technology, so they feel that they can contribute in that aspect. So I feel that I can help this community, and I've been blessed now for 5-6 years being on this administration. Islam means submission to God. So any person who submit to God and do good, I'm going to be okay. Jesus, peace upon Him, said in the Quran that God ordered me to pray and do charity as long as I live. So the summary of any faith is prayer to the relationship between you and God, and charity to the relationship between you and other people. So I think in Islam we don't talk about this more, but when God talks about prophets, He also said they were Muslims. That means they submit to God. There's no Islam during the time of Abraham, upon him, or Noah, or Moses, or Jesus, all of them. So it was only they all submit to God. So I think, funniest say word, it's Islam is submit to God, and whoever submit to God and do good will find his reward with God.